Hello, I am Dr. Denise Lucy, a proud member of the Marin Women's Hall of Fame class of 2011. It is my pleasure to sit down with this year's class of Marin Women's Hall of Fame inductees to learn about their lives, careers, and journey that led them to be honored in this way. Since 1987, the Hall of Fame has inducted over 150 women of distinction, women who have made immense contributions to the County of Marin and to its residents as well as to the world beyond. Honorees have distinguished themselves in many fields: education, science, business, philanthropy, the arts, politics, law, philosophy, and religion. Each honoree has been a force of positive change in our community. It is a great privilege to acknowledge and document their contributions. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce Kellye Eboni McKinley, who is being honored in 2024 for her pioneering work for social change. Thank you, Kellye. Thank you, Kellye, for being here today. It's just an honor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's just been such a great opportunity to get to know you a little bit.
Yes.
So, being honored by the Hall of Fame, isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. I'm like still in awe that I'm being inducted. It's such a privilege and an honor. It really is.
It is. And you are the CEO of My Sister's Keeper.
Yes.
And for our Sister's Keeper, can you tell us what the mission is and what services you offer?
Our Sister's Keeper is a full women's support group. And what we do, we really focus on the whole woman. And that's mind, body, spirit, and future. We deal with predominantly African American women in Marin City, but we're not limited to that. We are a full-fledged. We are focused on the whole woman, the mind, the body, the spirit, and the future of the women in our community.
Wonderful.
Yes.
What a privilege to have your organization in our town.
Yes.
And so tell us about your background. What about your life? Where did you come from?
Well, my mother and my siblings, we moved from Chicago in 1978, and we moved, and my mother found Marin City just on a fluke.
Did she?
Kinda, yeah. And she came and she just said how beautiful the place was, and she never wanted to leave. And we've been there since 1978. Our family has been.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is there anything in your background, of your growing up, that led you to want to create this Our Sister's Keeper?
Well, I've seen a need in my community for many years with the women of color, just dealing with depression, abuse, low self-esteem. And these are actually things that I've experienced myself throughout my journey. And mental illness was something that has really kind of stuck with me, and the seriousness of it, and the children that suffer through that. I'm a victim of verbal and physical abuse by the hands of my mother. And I just see in my community just how serious it is that the women get the help that they need, because it's not just for the women, it's for the children that are suffering as well too.
Right.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
And you have children?
I have two boys, Zion, who's 23, Ezra, who's 21, and I have a grandson. He's almost 5 months.
Oh!
His name is Zion Jr.
Is that lovely to have
That's
a grandbaby?
lovely. I know.
Nice.
So exciting, yes.
So what kind of programs are at Our Sister's Keeper? Can you give
So
some examples?
Yes, so Our Sister's Keeper, we have done many things, but not enough so far. So we have sister circles where we just kind of come together and talk about life's challenges. And we also just recently invited women to a beautiful lunch in Sausalito, and they had an amazing time. And we just kind of, just getting to know each other a little bit more, because that's the problem that I see with a lot of the African American women. It's like we've been taught not to trust each other. We've been taught not to love each other. So just changing the narrative of how we feel about each other and ourselves in the process. So we took the ladies out and we had an amazing time. It was maybe like 25 women that came out and enjoyed a beautiful lunch. Yes, yes, it was really, really nice. And we've done brunch and paint. We've had
interesting.
Yeah, keynote speakers to come out and speak to the women about different topics. So yes, we've been doing some amazing things, and helping the women along the way. If the women need rides to the grocery store, or just someone to talk to, just a friend to listen, we're there.
So it's more than a social club. It's really a support system.
Absolutely. No, I would say it's kind of both. Because we want to be social as well too. Because I believe that being social it teaches you outside of the circle how to get to know someone outside of the rim of where you might already know them. So the social part is important, most definitely.
Do you do painting yourself? Do you teach them how to paint?
No. We kind of have the pre-done painting thing, but also just recently, we had given the women these therapeutic coloring books. And so as you color, a lot of women were calling me. They were like, Eboni, thank you so much. It's really helped me just to focus and get my mind off of the things of the world. So they have these therapeutic coloring books that the women really love to do.
How lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
And is this organization a new organization?
Well, I would say it's fairly new. I started Our Sister's Keeper 9 years ago.
Oh.
But I had many other businesses that were kind of happening in between that kind of took my focus, not away, but kind of put it on hold momentarily.
So you had a vision for the organization becoming while you were doing the businesses.
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you about those businesses, which just bring my heart just full of happiness when I hear the stories you've told me about them.
Yes.
But so Our Sister's Keeper was a vision that you had while you did these other businesses.
Yes.
And now it's a reality for almost a decade.
It's a reality, and it's a beautiful thing that's happening, and I just have so much more that I see in my mind's eye for Our Sister's Keeper.
Oh,
I really see it becoming something really international.
Let's talk about that a little bit. In terms of ages, are these all adult women?
Well, actually, our last event, we had a 13-year-old there, or maybe she's 14. But she came with her mom, and she had an amazing time with us. So I believe the eldest woman we have, she's maybe 65. So it's all ages.
Sisters of all ages.
Sisters of all ages, and even mothers.
Some
of them are our mothers. I mean, and
our sisters and our mothers.
Our sisters and our mothers.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
So talk about your international vision.
So my international vision is to see. What I've noticed is that throughout the country, because I've done a little research, there's a lot of support groups, but a lot of them are church-based. Some of them are sorority. But there's nothing for the common woman who's living in public housing. Nothing for the common woman who just, who isn't really a part of anything. So I'm looking to build Our Sister's Keeper in that way. And not just for women of color, because all women need support. Because we all share a lot of the same struggles in life, and we need each other.
Wow. Well, I belong to some women's social groups, and I have a neighborhood where I live. There's a cul-de-sac of 6 homes, and we are so caring for each other.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what you've done. You've created in your neighborhood.
Right.
It's the same thing. We care for each other. We take care of each other if there's an emergency or a need, or time to just enjoy together.
Yes.
So you're there for all corners of their lives.
Yeah, it's important because people were there for me.
Yeah.
During my rough times of my life, dealing with the abuse of my mother, I had people in my community who helped me, who protected me, who fed me, who combed my hair and bought me clothes.
So you told me about 2 of those people.
Yeah.
Can you talk about them a little bit?
So there was this neighbor, Renee Williams, and I know she's going to be like, oh my gosh, you said my name. Yes, I love her. She was really there for me. She was the one that, even though she was having her own struggles during her time with her children, whatever, she would still make sure that I had food. And when I was being abused and I'm screaming help in my house as a little kid, she would come up the stairs and was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to your daughter? Ooh. And so she would have that, with my mother and just encouraging me and loving me and letting me know that one day it's going to be okay.
And you were young then, younger, I should say.
Yes.
You were in your teens?
I would say from the age of about 9 until about maybe 13, 14 years old.
Really formative years.
Yes.
That she was there for you.
Yes. And there's another lady I have to say as well. Her name is Peggy Wallace, another member of Marin City. And she, I don't want to start crying.
Oh, bless you.
But she was really there for me. And she might not even know how it really affected me when she was there. And because of the abuse that I was suffering with my mother, and I don't want to make this all about her, it's the mental illness that needs to be addressed in the African American community. My mother would shave my hair off because she didn't want to comb my hair. And so I was wearing these little headscarves, and as a young girl, it just tore me down to pieces. It made me feel ugly. I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't want to live at times as a little child because of my self-esteem being so low. And the children made fun of me, like kids do. They didn't understand that I was being abused at home and also suffering abuse from my peers. But Peggy, she was always very nice to me, still is to this day. She took me, she did my hair, got the little S curl for me, and did my hair, and I felt so beautiful. And I'll never forget that. I think I was maybe 12 years old. And when I looked in the mirror, it made me feel like I am somebody. And she looked, she said, "Look at how beautiful you are."
Bless you. And the businesses
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get this emotional about this, but yeah.
Well, this is what elicited you in support of other people too.
Yes.
It's part of your foundation, and look what you're doing for other people.
Yes.
And making them feel whole, be whole, feel beautiful. In fact, we'll talk about your business while you really make them look beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
Which is such a lovely, is that part of the passion too that you had for that
Absolutely.
business?
And you know what? I would just say everything on my journey is just the makings of me. Good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad. I count it really all joy because look at where I am today.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I would have never, ever in my life think that I would be honored in the Marin County Women's Hall of Fame ever. So to me, it really is an honor. It really is that people are actually recognizing Eboni, someone who didn't think she would ever be recognized for anything ever. And here I stand.
You stand tall and proud and beautiful.
Thank you.
As a social entrepreneur in so many different ventures.
Yes.
And always giving back to your community. Should we talk about the couple of those too, in addition to your Sister's Keeper, because that continues, right?
Yes.
So I'm really proud to talk about your first venture, which the name of which just makes my heart sing.
Yes.
It's called Little Blessings.
Little Blessings.
Could you talk about what is Little Blessings?
Little Blessings was, because I'm no longer doing that anymore, family home daycare. And it stemmed from, I had worked in early childhood education for 17, 18 years of my life. And I've always loved the little people. They're like my favorite people. And just doing that. And then after I began to do other things in life, a lot of the mothers were like, Eboni, when are you going to open up a daycare? You should open your own daycare. You should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, I have my own kids. I really don't feel like it. But the more I began to see the need and my ability to make that happen, and I saw exactly how I would have it to be, there it was created. And within 2 weeks, I was completely to capacity.
No kidding.
No kidding.
So for your first day, do you think back on that first day when Little Blessings opened?
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
So the first day of Little Blessings, I opened up with 7 children already ready. And it was amazing. They were so happy and I was so happy. It's like, oh, okay, I have my little people again. And it wasn't just a place just to drop your children off. We were actually teaching the children, getting them ready for preschool. Getting them ready for kindergarten. So we were, teaching them the fundamentals of school.
Nice.
Yes.
What time of day would they arrive?
Oh, like 6 in the morning, and they wouldn't leave till almost 6 at night. Oh, yes.
You must have been very tired.
I was. I had help. I did have help.
Isn't that lovely to have the little ones
beautiful.
everywhere?
I love them. Yes, yes. It was great.
And so how old are some of your graduates now?
Oh, wow. They're like, maybe 13, 14.
Oh, do they live in the neighborhood still?
Yes, yeah, they still live
come
there. And
see
some
you?
of them still remember me.
I'm sure they would. Why wouldn't they?
They do.
So,
Yeah.
so tell us about where you set up this Little Blessings studio.
Well, I did it inside of my home, inside of my apartment. I converted my living room into Little Blessings.
I saw the pictures you shared with me. What a
Yes.
sweet setting it was.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So was it in your living room area?
Yes. The entire living room is what I transformed into a daycare.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a blessing was it? Little blessing
Little
for the blessings.
Yes.
How lovely.
Yes.
And then you started another venture, which is one of your passions to which we were referring earlier.
Yes.
About beautiful hair products for your community. Could you talk about that?
Yes. So during the process of Little Blessings, I was envisioning and just seeing kind of what was going on in the community with the women and myself. We would have to travel to either San Francisco or Richmond, or we'd have to cross a bridge in order to get hair care products for women of color, because there's nothing in Marin County for us. And so we would have to travel to do so. And I was thinking, how could I do something? Like, what can I do? And I just began to look around and looking in my own home. I'm like, okay, I can convert this into that. And so, thus, Divine Divas Beauty Supply was actually in my backyard. So I had Little Blessings in the front, and I had Divine Divas on the side. And but Divine Divas was really amazing. I got to meet a lot of amazing women. I actually got to meet George Lucas and his wife one time. They came in.
Did they?
Yes, they did. Yes.
And what did they say and do? Did they?
Yeah, they were like, whoa, because, well, I don't know if you show the pictures, but they were pretty amazed, like, wow, this is your home. Like, this looks like a beauty supply. And I was like, yeah. It's like, wow. So I got to meet him and his wife. I didn't even know who they were. It wasn't until they left. Someone was like, do you know that was George Lucas and his wife? I'm like, really? I didn't know.
Well, the pictures you showed me, that was such a sophisticated space with the wigs and all the different products.
Yes, yes.
So how did you set that up in the backyard?
Well, I had some help. So the monies that I was making from the daycare, I invested into the beauty supply. So I had some carpenters come and they kind of built some stuff around that and the shelves and yeah.
So it has a shelter from water and...
Yes, and it was, believe it or not, I feel like I need to say this. It was really challenging being able to get a contract to sell black hair. It took me 5 months to get a contract with a distributor. They would not sell to African American people. They wouldn't sell, and I was calling all over the place. I had all of my licenses and everything that was needed to be able to do that. And I would call and call and call, and no one. And then one day, because I go by Ebony, I had to speak in my most proper voice. And, my first name is Kellye. And so they gave me the contract. So it's almost like I had to pretend to be someone else.
Wow.
Just to get the things that I need for the people that I serve.
Well,
so that was pretty, you know, I feel like I need to say that because it wasn't an easy, it wasn't easy at all.
Well, that's a tragedy, isn't it?
It really was.
And you had struggles with keeping it there.
Yes.
For maybe some similar reasons, I'm not sure. Can you talk about that?
Okay,
Why you couldn't
so,
keep it open?
Yeah, well, I was given the permission by Marin Housing Authority to operate business, you know. Allegedly, they promote entrepreneurship, in-home businesses, and everything was good. And one day, it wasn't anymore. And they fought and fought and fought against me after permitting me to do so. And I couldn't keep up. I couldn't afford to continue to pay an attorney. And so it went under because of that.
Well, that too is a tragedy.
It was a tragedy.
So now we don't have the resources, the products in our community in support of our women?
It was important to me, but clearly it wasn't important to the to the powers that be. It was important. It was really heartbreaking for the women as well too. They were like, "Why are you closing?"
That sounds
It's not because I wanted to. It's because I was forced to. Yes.
Was it in the housing system? Is that what the dilemma was?
Pretty much. Politics. Yeah.
It sounds like a possible business outside of that place someday soon. Then,
yes, yes. We're encouraging the ladies to become entrepreneurs.
That's right.
That's right. That's what we do.
We have an entrepreneurship ethos in your family and in you, don't you?
Yes.
It's really wonderful.
I want to see us all win.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Your clients are your family.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So you have another business you started, which is just wonderful. It's called Miss Ebony's Sugar Shack.
Miss Ebony's Sugar Shack.
Which makes me smile, the name of it. Tell us about the Sugar Shack.
Okay, so the Sugar Shack was actually started during COVID. And I would just see the children just kind of hanging out, really doing nothing. And we've had little candy houses kind of in the community before. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna create something because I don't have the beauty supply in the backyard anymore. So it wasn't being utilized. So I said to myself, what can I do for the children in this community so that they're in a safe place, so that they're having fun, so that they are socializing with their friends, because they can't do that at the Starbucks. They can't do that anywhere in Marin County where you have a large amount of children of color just kind of sitting there, hanging out, having a good time. So I said, instead of complaining, I'll just create. And what I created was the Sugar Shack, a safe, beautiful place for the children to come and hang out. And that's what they did. And I employed the children, teaching them entrepreneurship, teaching them to be self-sufficient, how to take pride in their community, pride in themselves, and building self-esteem and self-image is what was going on. The very things that were given to me as a young person.
Lovely. And I've seen pictures of the Sugar Shack. It's a beautiful shuttle. It's so colorful.
Yes.
It's like a food truck with beautiful sugar.
Right. Well, it started actually in my home, in the backyard. And when I moved, I promised the little people, they were so sad. They were crying, and it broke my heart. I promised them that this will continue. It will continue. And so I end up buying a shuttle bus and converting it into an ice cream truck. And so there's the Sugar Shack. So the kids are still involved. You know, I have them to still work there, doing little fun things, not too much, but just teaching them still the life skills that they need.
Well, I see pictures with dozens of children around the shuttle, and it looks like some teenagers helping inside the shuttle, like you say. So again, building that entrepreneurial spirit and possibility for the children in your neighborhood. Wonderful. I just love it. Can you tell us about an important learning in your life that you believe has been key to your success?
The important learning in my life has been to push past the pain. To push past the pain. Because it's never been about me. Now that I look back on my journey, it's always been about someone else. Someone else's future. Because I'm okay.
Well, that's what this award shows. It's about you always helping others.
Yes.
It really is.
It's my passion.
And you also talk about your mentorship. Can you tell us what you've learned about mentorship, being a mentor?
I would say I've never met a person that I haven't learned anything from. Really. Mentoring is just who I am. I try my hardest to live by example. The women trust me. They know that I love them. They know outside of all of whatever that I'm there for them, that they are my sister, and I am my sister's keeper. Most definitely.
What are your hopes for Marin City?
Oh, man. My hopes for my community is that we change the narrative of what's been happening. Because we are a beautiful people with great potential. We are amazing. And we've been stereotyped in such a negative way for so long that it's time for us to really show really who we are, to ourselves first, and then to the world.
If you would look back on your life, which has been so profoundly successful, engaging others and being a great small business thinker and actor, could you choose an area of focus that your legacy has impacted the most? And what would that be?
I would say, I don't know. I would say that I hope my legacy and my focus has definitely always been for the community, for the people, for the people who need me most. And I'm never going to give up on them because no one ever gave up on me.
That's a wonderful, wonderful legacy that you've left.
Yes. They will always remember me. I believe that.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today. And
thank you.
And the very great honor you've received, which will be in February.
Yes.
So I want to thank you, Kellye, for sharing your stories from your incredible life with us.
Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. The Marin Women's Hall of Fame is a program of the YWCA Golden Gate, Silicon Valley. If you would like to learn more about the Hall of Fame and our honorees, please visit www.yourywca.org. Thank you so much for being here, Irene.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.